Hi, I'm Elaine Hudson. I'm the intern for First Baptist Church of Albemarle. I'm here with Melinda Burleson, and we're about to learn about a very exciting hobby. What was your inspiration for using Barbie dolls to tell Bible stories?
Well, I like to make scenes, I like to paint, and I like to do 3D scenes. So I chose the Barbie size because it's easier to work with. So being the mother of one daughter, we've been collecting for a long, long time, and it was time to put this stuff to use.
Okay, good to know. On average, Melinda, how long does it take to actually finish a Barbie scene?
Well, that's a hard question to answer because some of my scenes I can sort of whip together in an afternoon, but that's rare. I have some that have taken like a month to do, so it just depends on the scene and how detailed and how finicky I get about it.
Wow, that's awesome. Did you use any unusual props?
Well, it depends on what you call unusual. The outside of the fiery furnace is a flower pot from Walmart, and the inside is just a piece of styrofoam that I've painted, and of course Christmas tree lights. And if you notice on the inside also we have the figure that in the Old Testament was referenced as maybe a figure from heaven. We sort of look at it as being an angel that came in there to keep them from burning up. And the top here, the flue of this whole concoction is made out of a garbage can with foam, and I spray painted it, and then the top is just polyester fiber fill that I pulled out and tried to make it look like smoke, and I painted it. Yes, Samson and Delilah, you get a ring, ding, ding, ding today. Good old Samson here with the long hair, muscular, tough guy looking. And I thought that the girl's face looked kind of Delilah-like. That's how I pick out some of the scenes. Once in a while I'll just see one that makes me think of something. So that's what I do.
Okay. And why did you choose to make this particular scene?
Because I thought it would be fun.
Oh, good.
Because I kind of like the story of Samson and Delilah.
And what are some of the most creative props that you used for this scene?
Well, the top here are doorknob holders, doorknob pulls.
Wow.
And these are little miniature flag stands. This is a scarf, and I have earrings that are hanging. And I have the chimes, the soapstone burner, which they used a lot of furnaces like that back in Bible times. This is a bell that my mom brought me back from a tour they went on that had to do with the Holy Land.
Wow.
So I just thought they all fit together out here. Okay, this one is John the Baptist as he is baptizing Jesus in the Jordan River. And one of my interesting little trivias that I learned when I was researching this one is the Jordan River is muddy and it's not very deep. But the hardest thing to do was the water. And I kept adding layer after layer after layer. Probably this one took me longer than any of them to make, just because of the vast amount of layers that I had to put of the water in there, and had to let it dry, and then had to get my color right. That was a little bit tricky, especially since I had never worked with this medium before. But you will notice John the Baptist and Jesus, and the dove in the top here represents the heavens opening up, and God in the form of a dove, or the Holy Spirit, comes down and says, "This is my son in whom I am well pleased." Well, I did a Bible study. I was involved in one that was on women of the Bible. So we took different women each week and talked about them. And this particular one, Lydia, we talked about, and I really liked it because I love purple, my favorite color. And she's not mentioned very much. If you look in the book of Acts, there's a small passage. But she was a dealer in purple goods, so she was probably a wealthy woman because purple was a little bit harder to get hold of, and so she catered to the rich people back then. But she also was converted as a Christian, and she invited the Christians to come up and stay with her and have prayer sessions.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you tell me how you made the wine?
Well, I took clear Elmer school glue and put food coloring in it and put it in those little cups, and it just dried right up like wine. If you look in the book of Mark, at the end of the story about Garden of Gethsemane, there's a reference made to a young boy, and speculation is he could have even been Mark, the author of the book of Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know that for sure who he was, but apparently it's thought that he had heard what was going on in the upper room, Jesus talking to his disciples, and decided to follow them to the garden, just curiosity of a young man,
Mm-hmm.
to see what was going on. And when the Roman soldiers came to arrest Jesus, he took off running and left his sheep behind.
Oh.
And the Bible does tell us that he ran away in his birthday suit.
What is the latest project?
One of them, I've got several started,
Okay.
but one of them is the story about Judith.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't talk about Judith because her story is in the Apocrypha. So I'm going to challenge you to go and look up in the Apocrypha and read Judith.
I can smell the aroma in here.
It happens to be frankincense, and that is over in the Bethlehem section of my barn, which is another whole afternoon.
A whole afternoon, she said, so we don't have time, but thanks for watching.